Okay, thanks for watching me this. Let's get the spelling right here. Networking. I've been having some students find that they're having trouble with the bridge networking in VMware Player, and what it is a problem with access to the bridged adapter, which is adapter interface 0. And it's a problem of access to that bridge networking interface. This is not uncommon, and you're not crazy. It affects maybe 1 in 10 students trying to set this up. And considering the huge installed base, that's a lot of people having this problem. Which leads to the question of, why isn't this just out there more? Why don't they have, if you have this issue with VMware Player, this is what you do? Well, I don't know why it isn't out there. And if you guys, if anybody knows why, I'd sure like to hear the reason. But it has to do with access of the network interface card, especially interface 0. And just think of it like this. If you were to give your cell phone to somebody and they had it, you wouldn't be able to make phone calls. You wouldn't be able to receive text. You wouldn't be able to, do anything with it until you got access to your cell phone back, right? Well, same thing here. So some of the symptoms of this is that you can't ping your guest computer from the host machine or from any other machine. It won't ping. Your guest machine won't be able to access the internet, and it'll have an IP address that doesn't correspond to the network address of your LAN. So instead of like 192.168.1, which would be the network address, it might be like 192.168.23, or something different besides the network address of your LAN. So the problem with this access to the bridge networking adapter is solved by a free utility called Vmware Net Config. Now this comes in the workstation version, but it doesn't install in the free version. So what you have to do is you have to get the program and download it to Workstation Player, or VMware Workstation Player, and you have to put it in the right folder for it to work. And here is the folder that you're going to put it in. So let's go ahead and go out to this website here, and let me show you what that website is. Oh, here it is. So you have to translate this because I think it's in Dutch, but it talks about the problem, and then it shows you the folder you need to get it in. And then if you click down here where it says download, it'll download the program. So I'm going to download it, and if you can see, it downloads here, and it gives me a little, this is Chrome, so I want to show in folder. So I'll show it in folder, and then it comes down as a zip file, so we want to extract it. I'm using WinZip here, but I want to extract it. And so, okay, here's where that folder comes in, because we can extract it directly to that folder. That way we don't have to copy it later. So we go in here to Explorer, and we find our computer. Okay, so you have to open it and close it to get the access to the actual drive. So here it is, and we'll go into Program X32, and then VMware right here. Whoops, there it was. And then VMware Player. So that's where we're going to extract it. So we'll just hit select folder and walk through that. I'm not going to install it again because I already have it there. Okay, so it's done. Now I make sure that all my VMware guests are off and they're not just suspended but powered off. And now I'm going to fix the problem. So I'm going to go into that where I extracted that folder into the C drive. And what was it? Program 86, VMware right there. VMware Player. Okay, now I'm going to just click on that program I downloaded. So it's called Vmware Net Config. So it should be up here. There it is. Right there. Okay. So we're going to open this and we're going to select this you have to change to get administrator access. You have to hit change settings there, and that'll give us administrator access to the program. There, and now you note the interface 0 shows up, which is what we want. And then go ahead and click bridged and automatic like this. And all you have to do, it's not a big deal. You have to click OK here, which I'm not going to do since mine's already set up, but just click OK. That's it. Remember our comparison to if somebody has your cell phone. All you need to do is get it back. You don't need to file a bunch of paperwork. You don't have to go through a bunch of steps. If you get your cell phone back, then you have access to it, right? Then you can make cell phone calls. Then you can send texts and receive texts, right? So same here. You just have to knock off the other program's access to that 0 interface, and as soon as you do, it's going to work. Now go ahead and reboot all your computers and everything should work. So I have a couple of videos that do a different, explain this in a slightly different manner. I'll put below in case this was confusing to you. Okay, then I always have this question is, why do you use VMware? Why not Virtualbox? That's the main one I get because at Purdue they use Virtualbox and some other networking classes, and people haven't had to go through this with Virtualbox. And when it installs, it just naturally gets access. So, and to which I say, show me a big data center running Virtualbox, and when you do that, when it gets as large installed base as VMware, then I'll think about it. But everybody that knows anything about Virtualbox knows it's just a one-off program for students by Oracle, and it's just it's an alternate, but it doesn't really have the installed base or the influence on the world of IT that VMware does. So I use VMware just so that students will, be used to the interface and be used to a program that's used almost universally, especially in data centers and for virtualization. So it's a really important program. That's why we use it instead of Virtualbox. Okay, thanks for watching this.